Coming to a comfortable seated position, spine straight, raising up through the crown of your head. Just relaxing, bringing awareness into the body and into the present moment. Today we'll be practicing a yin yoga class. This class is good for anyone who's feeling stress or resistance in their life. It's also good for females who are menstruating and experiencing cramping. But it's good for both male and females. Noticing your breath, the awareness of your surroundings, and straightening your legs. Give yourself a gentle sway back and forth with the legs. Coming into our first posture, half butterfly. Sit with your legs extend, bend one leg, bringing the sole of the foot to rest on the opposite inner thigh. With a straight back, lean forward as far as you can without pushing, and then let your back round. Your hands may be on the mat. They may not be touching your foot. That's okay. Wherever you're at. Some people like to place a cushion under their hips to maintain a healthy pelvic tilt. You can also bend your straight leg or place a cushion underneath that knee to release your hamstrings a bit. This is a wonderful stretch for the whole back and for the hips and also the hamstrings. Just noticing your breath, accepting where you're at, not pushing or resisting. This pose encourages kindness and courage. It also helps calm our fears. Feeling the stretch and just enjoy the stretch. Give yourself a little smile to thank yourself for doing this practice today. Being grateful that your body can do this practice today. And coming up, bringing both legs together. Give them a little stretch. Notice how they feel. Notice the difference. And doing half butterfly on the other side. Right leg extended. Left foot resting on the opposite inner thigh. Leaning forward and letting your back round. Just going to your comfortable edge. Staying there without resistance, without needing to go further into the stretch. Just enjoying. In Yin Yoga, we practice not resisting or pushing further than where we're at. Instead of pushing towards that stretch deeper, simply going to your natural edge and surrendering. This will help you when you're off the mat facing some sort of challenge where you want to resist. We all have resist sometime in our lives. And I think we all know that resisting doesn't get you very far. It seems to make things a little harder. So this is where we can practice surrendering and accepting rather than resistance. If your mind wanders, just coming back to the breath. And slowly, gently coming back up, giving your legs a little wiggle and shake. And now coming to your stomach for seal pose or sphinx pose. Lying on your belly with your arms extended, raise your torso to a comfortable edge, hands turned out. And now bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Relax your shoulders, let your belly drop towards the floor. Again, feel the resistance in your lower back. There should be no pain, but you should feel a deep stretch. If you want to ease any intensity in the low back, you can adjust the angle of your arms. Bringing them forward or bringing them back will change the stretch that you feel. Try to relax your legs completely and your buttocks completely. This is an active pose for Yin Yoga, so just noticing which muscles you're using to hold you up and which muscles are not useful in holding you up. Those are the muscles you want to relax. Let them melt. Noticing your face and your neck, are they relaxed? Your stomach should be relaxed, your belly relaxed. This is wonderful to relieve low back tension. It also encourages compassion and creativity. Notice if you start to sink down a little bit from this active pose. Just bring in awareness gently on noticing if you're slouching down a little bit. And you can bring yourself up again without judgment, without criticism. The more aware we will be during our yoga practice, the more our poses will benefit us. Staying with the awareness, staying with the breath. Keeping your neck very relaxed while it's holding up. And now gently coming down, relaxing your arms down by your side, resting your face on one cheek on the ground. Breathing into your low back, deep inhales, deep exhales. Just noticing how this feels. It'll be a little tight. The breathing into the low back will help it. You should feel it release within a few breaths. And coming up to all fours and back into child's pose. Give your back a good stretch. Give your arms a good stretch. They've been holding you up for 5 minutes. And now giving your hips a sway side to side, preparing for pigeon pose. Bringing the right knee up to the right hand. Squaring the hips so they're level. Resting up on your fingertips. Your spine is nice and straight. Neck is straight and in alignment, but relaxed. You should feel a good stretch in the front of the left leg and also in the hip area. This is a wonderful pose for cramps and also for runners, as they use the psoas muscle a lot in the front of the hips. Breathing deeply, enjoying the stretch. And coming down, you can come to your elbows. You can rest on a cushion or a pillow, however is comfortable. Now to surrender into the pose. Your hips should still be square. Just breathing, you should feel it deeper into the hip on the right side. Lying down pigeon encourages gentleness, kindness, and helps calm fear. Staying with the awareness, staying in the present moment, being here where you are, this very moment, for there's never going to be another moment just like this. So enjoy it. And slowly walking your hands up to meet your hips and coming into a gentle table position, rocking the hips side to side. And now taking your hips circles, very wide circles, go in every direction that your hip will allow you, in both directions. And pigeon on the other side, left leg, left knee up to the left hand. Hips are square, raising up through the crown of the head, raising up on your fingertips. feel the stretch in the right psoas muscle, front of the thigh. Breathing. It is good during yin yoga to be in awareness, but sometimes it's difficult with long poses. So I also recommend keeping a mantra in your mind and silently repeating it. This will help you stay focused and stay in the present. Something like, I am joy, I am love. Whatever feels suitable for you. You could repeat it on the inhale and repeat it again on the exhale. And when you're ready, coming down to resting pigeon, resting on your elbows, a pillow, block. However is comfortable for you, keeping aware, keeping notice on your hip alignment and what's going on in the knees. Making sure there's no pain in the knees, and if so, making adjustments. Coming back to your mantra, whichever one you may have chose. Inhaling, I am joy. Exhaling, I am love. Just find one that works for you today. Staying with your breath. Staying with your mantra. And coming up, slowly bringing yourself to table position and rocking your hips back and forth. Really feeling the edge of your hip. And now, if you have a scarf or some sort of thin cushion, you can place it underneath your ankles for saddle pose. This takes the pressure off of your ankles and your feet. So kneeling with your hips between your heels, leaning back to your comfortable edge. You can use your arms, your elbows. I recommend using a cushion under your shoulders, or you could be all the way down on the floor. But it's very common for most people to need a cushion under their shoulders. The cushion can be stacked up as high as you need. You can even rest against your couch or a chair. This is a very intense back bend, so that's why we use it at the end of classes to make sure we're warmed up. Now, when you're using bolsters or cushions, you do want to feel a good stretch in the low back. So placing the pillows under your shoulders will give you this deep stretch. Otherwise, it's more of a relaxing type of stretch where you're not getting such a good stretch in the low back. This is a very energizing stretch for the body. Making sure you breathe very deeply. You're opening your stomach meridian line. Very good for digestion, for low back pain, for cramping. It also counters the effects of aging by opening up all of this healthy meridians. Make an offering with your heart. Your heart is lifted in this pose. Make an offering. And bringing yourself up very slowly, very gently. And taking a child's pose with your heels up towards the sky so you feel a stretch in the back of the feet and in the low back. And you can gently sway back and forth to kind of get your stretch involved with all these muscles. And keeping your rolled up towel, you want to place it under your knees for frog pose. Making sure your knees are on a soft surface. Starting on all fours, spread your knees as wide as you comfortably can and sink back into your heels. You can keep your arms directly down in front of you. You can also stretch them over your head. You can also use cushions or bolsters under your chest or under your belly or your hips. This can help reduce strain in your inner thighs. This is and should be a very relaxing pose, and it's very good to counterbalance saddle where we were placing such a strong emphasis on the low back. Now this opens the low back and gives it some release. Like child's pose, this is very calming for the emotions. But just note that being in this awareness and compassion in yin yoga and in life doesn't mean you shouldn't feel negative emotions. So when negative emotions arise, just be aware of them. Acknowledge that these feelings are part of who you are at this moment. Take responsibility for it. And just leave it sit quietly. Feel it in your body for a minute. And ask this emotion to release. Try not to resist or to push it away or to deny it or ignore it. This will only cause further upset like anxiety or depression. So acknowledging whatever you're feeling, positive or negative, sitting with it and then releasing it. And then when you're ready, bring your legs in, feet up, gently sway your feet side to side, and then bringing your body up to sit on your bum and get ready for dragonfly. So spread your legs as wide as is comfortable for them. And with a straight back, lean forward to your own edge. You may not be going very far in the beginning, and that's okay. And you may want to stay right where you feel your first edge. Making sure that your pelvis is tilted forward. This is a challenging forward bend, so being compassionate with yourself and just relaxing. You can rest your head or chin on cushions or on your hands, but make sure your neck is relaxed. And when you reach your edge, let your back round, enjoying it, breathing deeply into your lower back and your hips and hamstrings. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breathing, you can practice this now for this pose. It's very good to practice Ujjayi breathing when you're in a strong pose, feeling a strong stretch. Remembering your mantra and coming back to that mantra when you feel your mind wander. This is a wonderful pose for wisdom and kindness. And when you're ready, coming up, gently bring your legs straight in front of you. Feel what that deep stretch has done, and give yourself a little wiggle of your legs. Now coming down to your back, bringing your legs into your chest, placing your hands around your shin, and lifting up, lifting your head to your knees, and relaxing. Bringing the right knee in towards your chest, left leg on the ground. Prepare for spinal twist. Letting the bent leg fall over the straight leg towards the floor, keeping your right shoulder on the ground. Feeling the stretch, enjoying it. Relax into the twist. This rotates and stretches the whole spine, top to bottom. It also relaxes the mind and opens the heart. Remembering to stay with your breath and to stay with your mantra. Since this is a simpler pose, our minds can wander more easily. So staying with the mantra that you chose earlier and enjoying it. And coming back up to center, bringing both legs in, give them a hug. And repeating on the other side, left leg in, right leg straight. Let the left leg now fall over the straight right leg towards the floor. Keeping your shoulder on the ground and breathing. You can turn your head to the left, but you can also experiment with this pose. You can use cushions under your bent knee, also under your shoulder. Your muscles relax easier when they're supported, so sometimes you can use the cushions in the areas where your knee or your shoulder wants to come off the floor, and that's okay. Just staying with the breath. Remember, the yin side of us is compassionate and non-judgmental. Staying with the side for the remainder of our class. And now coming back to center, bring in your knees one last time. Give them a big hug. And resting down on the floor. Keeping your feet flat on the floor. Bend your knees. And let your knees fall towards one another. Direct your breath to your belly. You can place your hands to your belly and just give yourself love. Give yourself care and compassion. Thank yourself for doing this class today, for taking the time for your body. And now for the final relaxation. Lying your back with your palms facing up, your arms and legs spread to a comfortable width apart. And just relax into your body. If there's any residual tension in your body and your mind, just let it go. Just let it drop away. This is a time for you and for your relaxation. Anything else can be done later. And this is my view from down here on the floor, looking up at these beautiful trees. This is so nice to be outdoors to do this practice today, and I hope you got the enjoyment from this class today. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.